everyone, welcome back to my channel where I share mindset hacks and personal growth tips for aspiring entrepreneurs, and online content creators for you to grow your biz and level up your life. Today we are going to be talking about some myths that I think are very common, especially today in the online digital age, about entrepreneurship and why they might not necessarily be true. Some of these things are things that, I used to think that I really don't think anymore, especially after starting my own entrepreneurship journey. I thought might just be useful for me to share with you guys. The first myth is, if I'm my own boss, I'll be less stressed because I have no one yelling at me and I have no one telling me what to do. This is really not true, because a lot of entrepreneurs, especially at the start, will be some of the most stressed out people you know. They're really stressed all the time, as a business owner, as someone who has to worry about the profitability of the business. No one else is going to do that for you, right? The thing is, when you're in a corporate role, there are going to be people worrying about the direction, the strategy of the business, how you're going to make it work this year, next year, this quarter, and down the line. There's so many people worrying about it. Your manager, your director, your CEO. And what your manager basically tells you to do is what they've already worried about, came up with a plan, and now all you have to do is execute on it. The difference is that when you own your own business, no one's going to tell you what to do. No one's going to tell you what's right. You don't even know if the direction you're going in is the correct thing to do that's going to bring you profitability or success, right? And if you do something and it doesn't work out, you don't know if, say, that's just a one-off failure, or that's a failure that's gonna help you learn something that's gonna lead you to where you need to be eventually, right? So it's very easy also for a lot of self-doubt to creep in. But I think most of all, why entrepreneurs are stressed out is that the profitability of the company actually ties in directly with your rice bowl and with your bread and butter. You're literally not getting paid a salary, and if your business is not profitable, then you're not going to get paid a salary for a long time until your business is profitable. So obviously not getting paid, not getting an income, all of that is naturally really stressful. It's definitely more stressful than, just being a regular employee and listening to orders, because, being an employee, you can knock off, you can not worry about it, you just do what you're told. But if you don't even know what you're supposed to do, and not knowing what you're supposed to do impacts your profitability. Not having profitability means you can't pay yourself. Not paying yourself means you're going to have to compromise your lifestyle a lot. Then you're going to be stressed out. Myth 2 is, if I'm an entrepreneur, I'll be surrounded by many friends, I'll be really popular, a lot of people are going to think I'm really cool, and I'm going to have a great social life. It's just simply not true. First of all, if you come from a corporate environment or an office environment or anywhere where you used to work with people and now you decided to do your own thing, you are not in that business corporate environment where you have a lot of colleagues to have lunch with, a lot of colleagues to talk about office gossip, colleagues to just talk to in general. You're going to move from the environment of having a lot of people in the office, in the business district, to suddenly having to work from your own bedroom, your own home, or a co-working space. And you're suddenly going to feel very alone because there's no one to talk to. In addition to that, a lot of the times you have to be prepared to compromise your social life to a certain degree, because let's be real, having a social life is expensive in Singapore, right? Like, you want to go out, you want to go to a bar, you're simply not willing to just blow $200 on a night out for drinks anymore. Not that you can't afford it, especially if you have savings, but do you really want to spend that amount of money on a night out, or do you want to spend that amount of money on 8 pretty good meals, right? So you're going to slowly realize that you're going to have a mindset shift in terms of thinking about money and also what you want to spend your money on. You're going to think, is that $9 Frappuccino that I don't even really like, that I'm drinking just because I'm bored, really worth it? Like, should I spend that money? A lot of things are going to suddenly seem more expensive to you, and they're going to seem not very worth it for you to spend your money on. So first, you're not going to have your natural social life environment in a company just because you don't have those colleagues, right? At least at the start, where you haven't hired anyone yet to join your business. And 2 is that you're going to have to compromise your social life, even with your friends, because a lot of the things that you used to do with your friends is just suddenly not going to seem like something that you particularly want to do, at least at this point, because the money is going to be a lot better spent on your business or on other more practical things. So these are things that I also realized when I started my own entrepreneurship journey, that maybe I didn't expect to feel quite as much, but I think this is a very big part of your life. As a millennial, you spend a lot of time with your friends, you spend a lot of time on social life, and this is a part, especially for myself, that I found a little bit more difficult to deal with. And it's definitely not true that you're gonna have a great social life. If anything, your social life is gonna be not as great as it was before. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs will tell you this, that entrepreneurship is often a lonely journey, and is very, very normal because your friends often can't really relate to the struggles that you might have as an entrepreneur, and it's perfectly normal. They're not in the same situation. They've never faced a situation where they're the only ones that have to make the decisions for the business, have to say no, have to abide by certain schedules, because if you don't do it, no one will. And it's not fair to blame them for not understanding, because they're just simply not in the same situation. But you are going to feel lonely, and that's normal. So I feel like that's something that I wish I had known a little bit more, that I would expect a little bit more. I mean, I did expect it, but I think it also hit me harder. So I think that's something that's useful to know if you're also considering being potentially an entrepreneur, or potentially considering setting up your own thing. Myth number 3 is, if I'm an entrepreneur, no one's going to tell me what to do. I don't have a set 9 to 5, and because of that, then I can work less hours and earn more money. Really not true as well, because a lot of the entrepreneurs that I know, and a lot of the entrepreneurs that you probably listen to, they work longer hours than anyone you'll ever know. And the reason for that is simple. It's because you can't really knock off when it's your own business. If something needs to be done and you've already worked 8 hours, but you haven't completed the thing, and you can't deliver something to your client on time, then the client might not pay you. And you don't want that to happen, because it's very, very important that you get the client in, so your business will be more profit and revenue generating, so you can afford to pay yourself. What you don't do in your business will now directly impact your personal savings. It will directly impact your personal bank balance. It will directly personally impact your salary. Unlike a corporate job where maybe you don't deliver something on time, maybe you made a mistake, maybe a client backed out, but you're still going to be paid your base salary. So you're still going to have a basic level of financial security in a corporate role, or in any role working for someone else where they're paying you a monthly base salary, as compared to working for yourself, where if you don't deliver, you have to sacrifice your monthly income. And that's not something you want to do. So a lot of the times what entrepreneurs do is they work longer hours, because do or die, they have to deliver it. They have to make sure that they get the client and the client pays them, because if they don't, they're the ones who ultimately lose out. They have to get it done. And if that means working till 8, working till 10, working till midnight, then they'll do it. Basically because they have to. Because you have to as an entrepreneur. Because now I have to as an entrepreneur. So it's simply not true, at least at the very start, that you're going to have, more time freedom, more time and financial freedom, right? You're not going to have a dream 4-hour work week. Not that that's impossible, but it's just not realistically going to happen at the start, especially of your entrepreneurship journey, and that's something that you have to be prepared for. Myth number 4 is, if I'm an entrepreneur, I'll make more money than my friends. I don't even know what to say about this one. Let's just put it this way. At the start, you're not going to be able to pay yourself a salary. It's going to take some time for your business to even reach a level of profitability, and you have to reach a certain next level of profitability before you have enough profit to actually pay yourself a salary. A lot of the times when you make just a little bit of profit at the start, what happens a lot of the time is you reinvest that capital back into your business, and so your salary is basically zero. You don't pay yourself until your business achieves a certain level of financial profitability where you decide, okay, now I can afford to pay myself. So you're at zero, and if your friends are earning anything that's not zero in any other job, they will most likely be earning significantly more than you, even if it's $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, 7,000, whatever it might be, they're going to be earning way more than you in the thousands, whereas you're going to be earning zero. And this is something that you have to be prepared for, and something that you have to be okay with, and something that you should know before you go into entrepreneurship thinking, oh, I'm going to set up a business, it's going to make lots of money, and I'm going to be earning more than my friends. That might happen eventually, but it does take time. You have to be okay with the fact that it's going to be this way, and you're going to be earning way less than a lot of your friends, especially because in a corporate career, your friends are going to be moving up. They're going to be getting not only thousands of dollars in their base salary, but if they do well, obviously they're going to get promotions, and over the years, even if it's just a couple of years, they're going to get way, way, way more than you because you're getting zero for some time. Myth number 5 is what I like to call the 21st century millennial dream myth of entrepreneurship. And this is that if I'm an entrepreneur, I'll be guaranteed a jet set lifestyle, be able to travel the world, be able to dine at fancy places, and all of that. And that might be true. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying at least at the start, that's really not going to be your life. It's going to take time for you to even build a level of profitability, much less for you to be able to build a successful business to the point where you can actually afford a luxury lifestyle, luxury travel destinations, luxury jets, luxury fine dining. Like, all of this is going to take time, right? And even if it does take time, even if you work for 3 to 5 years, there's no guarantee of success. And even if you do build a successful and profitable business and you can pay yourself a salary, there's no guarantee that you're actually going to reach that level, multiple 6-figure level or the 7-figure level. There's really no guarantee, and it's really, really difficult. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying it's really difficult, and most people don't earn 7 figures, right? And so you need to know that it's not that you can't do it, but you have to go into that with realistic expectations as well, that maybe I'm not going to hit it in 1 or 2 years, and maybe not even in 5 years, and maybe not ever, and be okay with that. A lot of businesses do fail. That's a fact. A lot of businesses do fail, and a lot of the successes that you see, they're not even someone's first entrepreneurship venture, right? Like, someone might set up a business and fail, someone might set up a business and fail. In a basic example, like Kentucky Fried Chicken, like, he was basically almost bankrupt till the point where he was like in his mid-60s, and then it just boomed right into a global fast food chain. But it wasn't always this way, and in fact, for the majority of his life, he lived, as a broke person. A lot of the success that you see, it might not be someone's first venture, and even if it's someone's second or third venture, there's really no guarantee. So you have to know that although this lifestyle, because it's so visual, we see it on Instagram, we see it on YouTube, it seems very appealing, and it is very appealing, but you have to go into it with realistic expectations that this can be something I'll aim for, but this might not be something that I'll actually hit. This is something that a lot of people don't actually hit. Not saying that it's impossible for you to hit, but just be realistic and know that it's often glamorized a lot more. You don't see a lot of the behind the scenes, you don't see a lot of the failures, and so it might seem easy, but it's really not. In essence, to share, it's really just managing your own expectations as an entrepreneur, because a lot of the times when you're stuck in a soulless, dead, boring 9 to 5, it's very tempting to think that entrepreneurship is going to be a life of glamour, it's going to be a life of fun, it's going to make you, less stress, you work less hours, you have more friends, you have financial freedom, and you have a luxury lifestyle. Like, who doesn't want that, right? But in reality, everything that's great will take effort. It will take real hard work, real hustle, real, sleepless nights, real effort that's put in. And that's something that I feel like you should definitely be aware of, especially if you are thinking about going into entrepreneurship full-time as opposed to a side hustle. You have to be prepared to give up a certain level of financial security, and because of that, I would really advise that, before diving head first, really do your research. So for me, what I did was I basically put aside a certain amount of savings so that I could buy myself time to explore what kind of business do I want to do? What kind of entrepreneur do I want to be? And if you don't have that backup plan, then it can really, really be stressful and not really the ideal entrepreneur life you envisioned before. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something new. Keep killing it, and I'll see you next time.